Warning: the Mega Man X channel and all of its videos are not meant for viewers under the age of 13. Parental guidance is advised. Hey guys, be sure to visit my Facebook page store where you can buy anything figure related directly from me. I have a wide variety of figures, accessories, anything ranging from Hot Toys to SH Figuarts, Figma, and third-party items as well. All you have to do is message me on Facebook, visit my Facebook page for more info. I'll leave a link in the description below. How's it going, my fellow collectors? I'm back with another review video, and this time it's going to be of a custom figure. And as you can tell, it is the Dark Knight Rises Bane figure. And this figure in particular is using the M34 Bison muscular body. The rest of it, the clothes, the hands, the head sculpt, it's all made by a company either called Daftoys or Daftoys. When I bought this accessory set on toyswonderland.com, the description said Daftoys, D-E-A-F. But the box itself says Daftoys, D-A-F. So I'm just going to start calling it Daftoys because that's what it says on the box. So we're going to get this review going. We're going to start off as usual with the first category being the source information. And I'm going to tell you guys that the Dark Knight Rises was my least favorite among the trilogy. But that doesn't mean that it was a bad movie. They tied it off pretty good at the end. I'm satisfied with how everything turned out. It's just that they couldn't trump what they've done in the past with the last two movies before this, with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. So that's why this movie is the weakest link. But I did like the character Bane, which is why I have him. I did miss out on the Hot Toys version of Bane. That's why I got this custom by Daftoys. So as we move on through this review, you guys are going to notice some things that are different compared to what Hot Toys brings to the table. As we go through the review, I'll tell you what those things are. Getting back to the movie, yeah, Bane's character was pretty cool. He was very intimidating. And as Alfred says in the movie, he's not one to be trifled with. And they did stay true to some points in the comic books, such as Bane being born and raised inside of a prison, and also the scene where he broke Batman's back. So I liked that. One thing I didn't like about the movie is that they veer attention away from Bane being the actual villain, and they ended up putting in another villain who was pretty much the mastermind behind everything. I really didn't like that. It's cool that they introduced Talia al Ghul in the movie, but I didn't like the fact that they turned Bane into a regular henchman when he is actually a villain on his own. That's kind of like belittling him, his importance and everything. Just basically turning him into a regular thug. But overall, like I said, it wasn't bad. So because of that, I'm going to be generous and give it a 7 out of 10. Alright guys, so stick with me and we'll continue on with the rest of the review. Alright, so now we've made it to the category of packaging. And it is pretty basic for being a package. I mean, it does only come with the clothes. You could get the body to come along with the package, but that's optional. I didn't need to get the body because I already have a body. So yeah, all I got was the clothes and the head sculpt. So we're going to start off in the middle here. We got a portrait of Bane sporting the M35 Bison muscular body. He's wearing the pants and carrying the vest in his hand and the one gauntlet on his arm. And in the background, you can see the riot going on in Gotham City between the police and criminals. You can also see the camouflaged version of the tumbler Because in the movie, Bane and his army pretty much take over Wayne Enterprises and all of their assets and vehicles and even the Applied Sciences division. He basically just hijacks everything that he owns. And you can also see skyscrapers of Gotham City in the background. And then on the left, you got a Batarang. And then Bane's name right below that. And then below that, it says The Dark Knight Rises. And it's also got the Dark Knight Rises bat logo in the background there. I'm really surprised that Daftoys was able to use Bane's name and the Dark Knight Rises title and logos. I mean, they slapped the title right on the box. I wouldn't be surprised if Daftoys got some problems with copyright infringements and stuff from Warner Brothers. Anyway, moving on, we get the Daftoys logo here on the side of the box. And there's nothing else, it's just all black. And on the other side, it's the same thing. You get the Daftoys logo again, and nothing else, just all black. And on the back, there's nothing else, it's just a warning and choking hazards. And there's also a label that says adult collectible, not a toy. And it says not for children under the age of 15. It says so right there, YouTube. And there's nothing else on the back, it's just all black. And that's pretty much how it is on the rest of the box. It's pretty much just all black. Nothing on the top and nothing on the bottom. The only real thing that has any artistry to it is the front cover. And once we open it up, we get a foam cover. And underneath the foam cover, we get a foam blister carrying all of the accessories and the head sculpt. So it's an alright package. So because of that, I'm going to give the category of packaging a 5 out of 10. Because there's not really much to it of what you're getting, you know, the clothes, the body, if you got the body, the head sculpt, and everything else is photoshopped, like the background and all that. So that's why I'm giving it a 5, because other than that, there's nothing. It's just all black, basically, except for the logos and stuff, of course. Alright, so we're going to move on to the next category. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the likeness. And it's okay, it's not bad. It is pretty movie accurate to how he looked in the movie. Having said that, I don't think it's anywhere near close to the quality of Hot Toys. Because you can tell if you look at the pipes that are coming out of his mask. A lot of it, like the paint job and the sculpt, it's a little bit sloppy compared to Hot Toys. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm trying to get in close. And there you go. Yeah, you can kind of tell. The paint in detail, yeah, it's just not that good. It's not bad compared to other third-party companies, but when you're comparing it to Hot Toys, yeah, not that great. They did add the veins on the back of his skull, so that's pretty cool. So this head sculpt does do the job. I'm not going to fault them for it. It's not anywhere near Hot Toys prices. Here I have him standing next to the Dark Knight, Batman, and Lieutenant Jim Gordon. I don't know if this is accurate. I think Batman is supposed to be taller than Bane, at least in the movie. But as you can see here, he is slightly taller than Batman. Right now I have him in the Hot Toys TTM-20 Advanced Muscular Body. And that body is designed to fit Arnold, so... Another thing I forgot to mention about the Fison M45 muscular body that this whole Bane accessory set was specifically made for. In my opinion, that body is just way too big and bulky for the character of Bane. He wasn't that big in the movie. And to tell you the truth, I don't even think the M44 body is completely movie accurate either. because those bodies are pretty cut. You can clearly see the definition of the muscles and such. But when you see Bane in the movie, he doesn't have any muscle definition, really. He's just big and bulky, but he doesn't have that much definition in his muscles. When Hot Toys created the original version of the Bane figure, I'm probably going to be in the minority when I say this, but I think that body is pretty accurate to how he looked in the movie. Maybe he could have been just a little bit bulkier, but overall, the body is pretty accurate for the most part. And I know it's just a recast of the Lawrence Fishburne body from the Predators movie, the Nolan figure from Predators. I know it's just a recast of that, but after watching the movie again, I have to say that it's pretty accurate to how he looked. Except for the body possibly being a little bit bulkier. It could have done with that. So for the category of likeness, I'm going to have to give this category a 7 out of 10. And that's being generous. Because it still looks like him. It's just the quality that suffers. Alright, so we'll move on to the next category. Alright, so now we've made it to the category of outfit. But before I start talking about the outfit, I just gotta tell you guys that I'm using yet another body. And this is the Gang Hood muscular type body. And this body is basically a recast of the original Bane body made by Hot Toys. But it does make him maybe an inch or two taller than he was when he was in the TTM-20 Advanced Muscular Body. That's why I have him standing here in comparison to Batman and Two-Face and Joker, to show that he's slightly taller than all of these figures, but not by much. Alright, so let's start talking about the outfit. I am very, very impressed on how Daftoys was able to recreate the entire ensemble of Bane's outfit. They even made the pants thicker than the original. So you can fit all of these clothes pretty much on a M45 muscular type body if you wanted to. The quality is pretty much on point compared to Hot Toys. The only thing I worry about is the gauntlet that he wears on his right hand. It is made of that cheap pleather material that tends to deteriorate with time. It just cracks and falls apart. So I suggest you guys use caution when handling that. This accessory set comes with 2 of them. But everything else is really, really nice. I'm really digging the trench coat. It's also made of a pleather material, but it's the more durable kind. It feels like the same material that they use for the MMS 117 T2 Terminator. I'm not saying that that one's perfect, but it is a hell of a lot more durable than the cheap pleather that the DX10 Hot Toys Terminator uses. And it's also a lot more durable than the Hot Toys Terminator 1 Police Shootout jacket. The only thing I worried about on the trench coat is these buttons here. They are the very tiny type of buttons. I'm worried that this ball peg here might break off if you keep popping it on and off. So it's a shame that Daftoys couldn't go with magnets for this coat. But I don't know if they have the technology to do so. I mean, they are a third-party company, and I don't know how big they are. Maybe they just couldn't do it. But it would have been a lot better if they had. And if we talk about the harness on his chest, it's also very nice. It's got pads that are soft material. And also the belt that goes around his waist. It's really nice as well. The only problem is that you have to fiddle a lot with the harness and the belt. It takes a while to put on the figure because there's a lot of straps involved. So it's not a figure that you're going to be wanting to change the outfit too much because it does take a while. And the chest harness, the way you put it on is that he's got 2 buttons on his back. So you have to unbutton those, slip it off on one arm, and then take it off on the other. while his arms are raised. I didn't realize that you were supposed to do that, but luckily nothing broke while I was doing that. Daftoys definitely should have provided us with some sort of instruction manuals for that, to remove or put on the clothing, because an accident definitely could have happened while I was doing all that. Like I said before, I've never owned the Hot Toys Bane, so I was not familiar with how to remove the clothes or put the clothes on. And these clothes are pretty much just a remake of the Hot Toys clothes, and the head sculpt as well. Anyway, to rate this category of the outfit, overall I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Because the clothes are really, really cool. The only problems I have with it is, of course, the gauntlet, which could deteriorate over time, and the buttons that could break over time. And also the boots that don't have the boot cut on the ankles, so it's kind of a hindrance on that. So that's why it's not going to get a perfect 10, but it will get a 9, because I like the look. Alright, so stick with me and we'll roll on to the next category. Okay, now we've reached the category of articulation. But before we start talking about the articulation, I did mention to you guys that I am using the Fison M34 muscular body right now. But I don't know if I'm going to stick with this body. Maybe only for the vest only or shirtless poses. I'll probably use the M34 for that, but other than that, I'm pretty much going to be sporting him with the trench coat. Or maybe the black shirt, but I think I'm leaning more toward the trench coat. So because of that, I'm going to be using the TTM 20 Advanced Muscular Body made by Hot Toys. But I'll just run you guys through the articulation of the M34 Fison body, since that's what we're looking at right now. So this body is super flexible, as it says in the title of the box of the Fison body. You can pretty much put them in whatever pose that you want. It has a full rotation of 360 degrees on the shoulders. The head is on a ball peg, so you can swivel that pretty much 360 degrees all the way around. You can tilt it back and forth. The base of the neck also has a lot of pivot too, side to side and forward and backwards. It's also got good shoulder shrugs, and you can pretty much stick out his arms pretty much all the way up. As you can see, he's got his arms over his head right now. And he's also got really, really good ab crunch, forward and backward. Side to side pivot as well. The waist can swivel, I'm going to say around 40 degrees left and right. He can kick a full 90 degrees upward and pretty far backward as well. He's got double bend knees, and he's got ball pegs for the ankles. But it doesn't have no boot cut for the boots. So that limits a lot of articulation. There's not too much ankle pivot, forward and backward and right and left. So that's kind of a downside of the manufacturer of Daftoys. They could have added in a boot cut. But other than that, it's really, really good, this body. The Hot Toys TTM 20 Advanced Muscular Body. It's not as good as this body, but I am worried about the silicone. Having it in these types of poses can damage the silicone over time. That's one of the reasons why I'm going to switch it out. The other reason is because I really do love the trench coat look. So for the articulation with the Fison body, it's going to get a 9 out of 10. It would have gotten a perfect 10 if it hadn't been for the boots, since it doesn't have no boot cut. So I had to knock it down a point because of that. So as I talk you guys through this pose, I'm sure you're all familiar with where this pose comes from.
Ah, yes, I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your body?
That's pretty much the scene I was going for here. Alright guys, so stick around and we'll move on to the next category. Alright, so now we've made it to the final category, which is accessories. And we're going to start off with the hands as usual. We get 7 hands in total. We get a pair of fists, which are currently on the figure right now. We also get a pair of relaxed hands. And they're okay quality. Not as good as current Hot Toys quality. Maybe during Hot Toys' early days, these hands look like that. We also get a pair of spread open hands. I believe the fists, the relaxed hands, and the spread open hands, they all come with the original Hot Toys Bane figure. And the spread open hands come with the same detail. It's okay quality, not as good as current Hot Toys figures. We also get this one left hand, which is meant for holding the Harvey Dent picture. But compared to the other hands, which are pretty decent looking, this one is just plain bad. Like, look at how shiny the plastic is. There's kind of veins, I guess, but it's not good. You can see the seams running along the fingers there. There's no paint detail, there's no freckles or anything. You can pretty much tell it's a, dare I say, toy hand. It's just really bad. We also get his base, which is the early Hot Toys oval shaped stand. But Daftoys decided to add in their own spin, which is like this metal grate that's on top of the base. And it is actual metal. But it's not glued on to the base. It kind of moves around. And you also have his nameplate on the front. And then we also get a picture of Harvey Dent. This is the picture that Bane was holding up while he was giving his speech. And then he ends up tearing it up later. And it's not that great a quality picture. It's pretty low resolution. But, you know, I'll take it over nothing. And we also get Batman's broken cowl, which Bane breaks after defeating Batman in battle, and after breaking his back. And if we take a closer look, you can see that there's watermarks all over the mask. And this also came with the original Hot Toys Bane figure. And we also get a spare set of buttons, because as I mentioned before, he's got some buttons on his belt back here. Yeah, these buttons fall off really easily. I already had 3 fall off on me. I had to glue them back on. Luckily, I didn't lose them. I didn't have to use the spare set of buttons that Daftoys provides us with. So I just advise you guys to be very careful when you're handling the belt, because these buttons can fall off really easily. Moving on, we get 2 leather gauntlets for his right arm. I mean, you can put them on both arms if you want, but that's not really movie accurate. And it's interesting because one of them has a hole where his thumb goes through, but the other one doesn't. So it's kind of curious. Like, I don't understand why they did that. I'm kind of wondering if the original Hot Toys Bane figure had that as well, where one gauntlet didn't have a hole and the other one did. Because I know it came with 2 leather gauntlets too. But I'm wondering if one of them had a hole and the other one didn't. Just like this one. If any of you guys out there had the original Hot Toys Bane figure or still have it, please let me know in the comments below. If that figure also had gauntlets where one of them had a hole but the other one didn't. And like I said before, these gauntlets are made of cheap pleather, so I'm fairly sure they're gonna fall apart and start cracking over time. So just be mindful of that if you plan on picking up this accessory set. And he also comes with this awesome trench coat, which I really like. Now you can count this as an accessory, but I don't really count it as an accessory. I think it's more part of his outfit. But I really like it. It looks good on him. As I said before, it's made of the more durable pleather. So this one should last a while. And that's pretty much it, what we get with this entire accessory set. And I can't really think of anything else that this figure could have come with. Maybe the black shirt and the burlap sack that he had in the beginning of the movie when he was captured. So, you can make him look like the beginning scene of Dark Knight Rises when they're on the plane. So, if you had the black shirt and the burlap sack, you can put that on him. But yeah, I could live without those two accessories that I mentioned. We pretty much have everything we need. So I'm going to go ahead and give the category of accessories a perfect 10 out of 10. So I'm going to go ahead and round up the scores and wrap up this review, guys. So overall, this figure or accessory set gets a 47 out of 60. The categories that suffered the most were the packaging and likeness. It's not because of the accuracy. It does pretty much look like him from the movie. The only problem is that it's not Hot Toys quality. What I mean by that is that there's not much detail on the pipes that are coming out of his mask. As you can see, it's kind of dull. And a tiny bit sloppy paintwork as well. Other than that, it's a pretty good accessory set. So if you are a Dark Knight fan, I would recommend this accessory set. If you don't own the original Hot Toys Bane figure already, I'd say that this is worth picking up. Because the original Hot Toys Bane figure is going for around $500 on the secondary market. So it's a pretty pricey figure to pick up. Alright, so I'm going to walk you guys through this pose. It's pretty much a recreation of the end scene at the end of the movie, where Batman and Bane are pretty much fighting on the steps of City Hall. And it's shortly before Batman defeats him. Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen the movie. Alright guys, so that's another review done and in the bag. I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications of new videos on the channel. And if you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. But until next time, guys, I will catch you all later on the tube. Alright, bye guys.